With these last couple updates, we now have changes to Warlords of New York and making a new character. So in today's video, I'm going to give you a full updated guide. This will be my Make a New Character 2025 guide. I'll tell you what the changes are. I'll tell you the new ways of getting to level 40 and what you do after you reach level 40. But everybody should have 4 characters that are max level before this DLC hits, okay? The big announcement for the DLC is April 23rd, so mark your calendars. It's coming very soon, all right? So here's your new guide and all of these changes because some of them are not that great, all right? Here we go. What's going on YouTube? Kamikazevondoom here with another Division 2 video, so sit back, relax, grab that popcorn, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know what you think in the comment section below, but this is going to be your new character guide for 2025. I hope you enjoy. Now, first and foremost, why do you need 4 characters? Pretty simple. You get to do several things with these characters. So first up, your projects. So your projects are the same projects per character, but you can complete them 4 different times. So for example, if you have the season pass, you get the season pass project. So you can see right here under the rewards, you get 700k XP. That's a full shade level just by doing this mission on hard or higher. Now you can do that on each of your characters, and that's 4 shade levels every day just by doing the one mission on hard or higher. Not only that, but you do have your weeklies that you can do per character. So that's 3 exotics here, that would be 4, 5 exotics, 6 exotics per character. So that's another 24 exotics every week just by having 4 maxed out characters and doing these projects. Really nice, right? Then you would have your PvP. That way you can max out your PvP 4 times as fast. And you also have your weekly descent. However, the descent comms seem to be a little bugged right now. I'm not going to lie. So I might have to come back to that part. But first and foremost, the projects. You can quadruple down on your projects, get these rewards quicker, get more exotics, everything right then and there, every day and every week. Now the trick or the tricky thing was during Year 6 Season 1, the developers came out with what was called the one end game, where anybody could level up from 1 to 40 without Warlords of New York. However, when that change did come out, you were only able to access these projects if you completed Warlords of New York. Now, they have since changed that. So now you don't have to do Warlords of New York at all, and you get these projects as soon as you hit level 40. So there's no need to complete Liberty Island. There's no need to do any of that unless you just truly want to. You can just go through the open world. You can go through the Dark Zone here in DC and go from levels, 1 to 40 without ever going to Warlords of New York and still be able to get all of the same projects and everything now. So that's one of the good changes. One of the bad changes, the collectibles. So if you go to your progression and you go to your collectibles, right, there's these comms and artifacts that are spread amongst the entire open world, and they would give you significant amounts of XP. Well, they have changed it recently to where now all of your collectibles are the same per character or per account. So it doesn't matter how many characters you have, you'll still have the same collectibles already picked up. Now, that is cool because you don't have to do this, 2, 3, 4 times. However, for XP gains and, tricks like that, it is kind of a, crappy thing because now you can't gain XP that way. Let's see. So the next thing about making a new character is that you can double, triple, and quadruple down on your materials. So for example, you can see right here, I'm at 13,000 printer filament out of 999. I'm at, 1,400 y'all gear materials out of 999. And, just clearly it's over the max cap. Now, the way you do that is you have an option to share materials through Anaya. And I'll show you exactly how to do this and all of it because I just made a new character and I want to show you all of these new changes. But I wanted to explain it all on my main character first, that way you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Now, when you make a new character and you hit level 40, you have to come over here to Anaya and you'll be able to share materials. Once you do that, you can double, triple, and quadruple down on your materials, and that's how you can, stack up on them like I do on all of my accounts. Now, what does it look like, and what are the changes to the watch? So let me show you that, because there is a change to your shade watch as well. Because you don't have to do Liberty Island, you don't have to take out Keener to get his watch anymore. So here's my new character that I did today, and shout out to Sneak, Blue, and Edge for helping me. I'll show you a little bit of gameplay of this later on. But here's my new character. It took us about 100 minutes or so to get to level 40, and all we did was Warlords of New York, and then some invaded missions. That's it. The invaded missions are the big thing for XP because you can join up on friends and what have you, and they can do invaded heroic or invaded challenging with some directives, and you can level up very fast that way. Now, as far as hitting 40, this is what it'll look like, okay? So you can see in the top right, it says I am max level, 0 and 100 for the season. If I go to my inventory, you can see I do not have my watch. Now, to get the watch, you come over here.
Coop's got an upgrade to your tech.
And then you come over here to the quartermaster, Coop Dennison. And what he does, booyah, he gives you the watch. Now, if you speed over to the scavenging and just spec into one, you can unlock it that way. Bada bing, bada boom. There's your watch. So the trick is you can max out all of these materials, and then you can stack them on your main character, all right? And then once you do that, you come over here to Anaya. So you max out your materials, come over to Anaya, and you will see this option right here, share materials. You do not want to do share materials until you max out your materials on this new character. That way, everything that's on this new character will then automatically jump onto the main character, okay? So to show you that here in real time, all you're going to do is you're going to max out all of these, and you can do it really fast now because they increased the amount you get per shade level. So you get even more materials now than ever. They changed that as well on the watch. You don't have to go through Keener, nothing like that. Just level up through to level 40, and then come over here to the quartermaster, and he will give you your watch. Now, as far as ways of leveling up to 40, obviously you have the level 30 boost. So going from level 30 to level 40, there are a couple of different ways. So first up, you can just call for backup and do Warlords of New York. Fairly simple. You can knock that out in a couple hours. Another way is to come back to DC and do the Dark Zone, because the Dark Zone will be in a different bracket. So there's different brackets per level in the Dark Zone leading up to level 40, because the shade levels and all that do matter in the Dark Zone. So after you reach level 40, you'll be in a lower DZ bracket until you reach, shade level 1000. And then once you reach shade level 1000 plus, then you're in a whole nother DZ bracket. So a lot of people do it that way. Other ways is if you have a buddy of yours, you could do those invaded missions, and they actually give you the most XP, because the way that they change the XP scaling, the more XP per mission. So normal, let me show you. So a normal mission, right here, let's do hard, okay, 182,000. Now if I did an invaded mission, okay, let's do hard. You see right here, 182. Now the thing about this, Let's see
We're
here.
concerned they may be looking to use the tunnels to get around the city.
There we go.
We need to get them out of there.
So what you would do here is you would then put on directives. So you could go heroic and then go directives, 4 directives, and all of a sudden that's 700k XP. Now for lower levels, they only need 400k or so per level at the start. Then it goes up to somewhere around 500k per level, then 600, and then finally 700k per level. So when you're able to do this, and then you invite the lower levels to join you, every time you complete one mission, they get 2 levels. And then you can do that up to level 40. That's how people are speed running their level 40 characters, is they're doing these invaded missions with heroic or challenging directives, and then multiple players there so that you get the group scaling, and then all of a sudden you're able to level up, pretty damn quick. Now the problem is the collectibles, right? So on this brand new character, if I go to my collectibles, you can see they're all the same. So I'm not able to like run to the different settlements and get those collectibles anymore. They're not there. So that XP is now gone. Another thing, let's see here. You would want to, if you're a lower shade level, you just want to go for printer filament, because printer filament is going to be the cheapest. You can see you get 15 printer filament per shade level or scavenging point. But for donating it towards expertise, it's the cheapest. It's 60 per. So you're able to get more expertise with printer filament over all materials. So if you're a lower shade level and you want to use these scavenging points to increase your expertise, because remember, if you go over here to expertise, you can jump into these and you can donate materials to make them proficient. And the cheapest material out of all of them is printer filament. So for the lower shade levels, just go for printer filament and max that out. And then you can max out your expertise very, very fast. Now, as far as stacking your materials, let me show you. Almost done here. Now, doing it solo, it would take you probably, I would say 3 hours or so, maybe 3 to 4 hours, going from level 30 to 40. But in a group, like I showed you, it takes about 100 minutes or so, about an hour and a half. So now I am fully maxed out on these resources, okay? So 999, 9,099, you can see all across the board. I come over here to Anaya, and I do share materials. So I do that, and all of a sudden, I go to my resources, and now look, I'm at 1,900, 1,900. Go down here, 19,000, 19,000, and my printer filament is now at 23,000. And you're able to stack these every time you make a new character. And then that way, if you have any new items or whatever, you can optimize them, you can recalibrate them, max them out. You can even craft gear if you want, things like that, because having these materials are very, very helpful. Especially if you do descent, because then I can upgrade. Oh, hold on, I need credits. So let me just get some E-credits. There we go. Upgrade my bench, and now check it out. Now when I go to share blueprints, go to my new character, and now look, I can craft all these named items. Look at that. Because my main character has all the blueprints from Descent and from the other seasons. And now, look at that, I can craft all of these named items and more on my brand new character. Pretty nice, right? So now I have all blueprints. Now I have double the max of rewards. And if I go to my projects, check this out. I have all my projects. And I can do my weeklies to get more exotics. I can do my dailies to get more shade levels. Look at that. I even have progress towards my Easter event on this character. Now, another thing to show you is if I go to Woni, because I do have it, but I want to show you what it looks like. because I did not complete it. But yet I still have everything. The watch, the projects, the whole nine.
Safe area detected.
It'll just bring me, yep, there we go. And check it out. I have not done Liberty. It says I still have to do it on story. And I have not even gone through the whole city yet. Pretty cool. And that, my agents, let me switch back to my main character and I'll show you what it looks like. But that's how you do a new character right now in 2025. You're not able to do any of the collectibles anymore. And you're able to have all of the projects without finishing Wony. So it makes it easier for everybody. You can do it solo, you can do it in a group, it doesn't matter. I did my third character pretty much solo. I did call for backup a few times. And I finished it around 4 hours or so. But in a group and just speed running, you can get it done hour and a half, no problem. Especially if all you do are those invaded missions. So again, what you can do is whatever invaded missions are open that week, pick the fastest one. So for example, here are the 3 missions this week. You have Jefferson Plaza, Air and Space, and Space Admin. Out of those 3, I would safely say Air and Space is your quickest out of all of them. And if you can, do it heroic or challenging with directives. And every time you do that with one of your low-level buddies, it will level them up a few levels per mission. Oh, and another thing that they did, let me switch characters again, is they made it to where the scout is per account, not per character. So they made it to where the projects are per character, but not the good old scout. So here's my brand new character right here. Ba-dum, boop, ba-doom. All right, so the brand new character, if I go to the map, you can see right there my scout is already up to date. So I don't have to redo the scout per character, and then I can just take advantage of these projects. And then whenever I need it, look at that, I have another 9,000 in the scavenging. Now, obviously, if you're a lower shade level, you're not going to have as many under your scavenging. So what I would recommend, again, is just go through the printer filament. Just do printer filament. That is your best material for expertise upgrading, I promise you. That way you can get all of your items fully proficient just by donating printer filament. All right? And that is going to be your new guide for a new character in 2025. Now, I have never been to the campus on this character, so let me check. Because that means all of the collectibles are gone. So I can't collect those ever again for the extra XP. That kind of sucks, but I mean, I get it. Yeah, there would be a collectible right there. Alright, well, that is quite the surprise. But another cool thing about Warlords of New York is all of the NPCs that are in the safe houses, their mouths move now when they talk. Remember, it was pretty funny, and a lot of people made, memes and jokes about it, that whenever you would make a new character and talk to those safe house NPCs, none of their mouths would move. But they changed it here recently to where now they do. Now you know. Anyways, I am Kamikazevondoom. Take care of yourself. Enjoy the rest of your day. And I'll see you in the next one, all right? Peace out.